Hey, we're Gail and Jamie from the band Laurel and Matic, and this is our podcast, A Different Road.
On this episode, we're going to talk about Honeysuckle Highway and the inspirations behind creating and recording it.
Hey, today we're talking about Honeysuckle Highway, which is our newest single we just released last Friday.
Yeah.
So Jamie wrote Honeysuckle Highway. When did you write that?
2019.
Okay.
I'd say it was late summer.
But it has some inspiration in the lyrics from the past, from much longer ago.
Yeah.
So.
Two of the lines in the verse center around kind of memories I have when it comes to driving. There's like 3 technically.
Yeah.
So one of them's a memory of one of my friends lived kind of far away. So like getting there, you'd have to like
high school, right? Like
high
school you're thinking here? Okay, right.
You'd have to like wind your way through all these back roads and over and up and around the Delaware and kind of to get up there and like, time management, not my thing.
The Delaware River, that is. We're in New Jersey.
Yeah. And so like I was always following the speed limit in a timely manner.
Like all teenagers do.
True. To get home before curfew. So like part of the kind of like the speeding through the towns along the way comes from that. And then another memory is also with the Delaware River of a friend and I used to go to Washington Crossing Park and kind of like sit and watch the river. There's like a pedestrian ramp up there that we used to like kind of stand on and watch the cars go by and talk. So like those two memories from kind of just getting your driver's license and kind of finding that freedom, like, you know, that's the beauty of driving, especially getting your license.
Yeah, for a teenager, that freedom.
So it's like kind of through that. And then the inspiration was actually when we were driving along and, we had the windows down and like when you drive through Honeysuckle and you can just like, it like comes through the windows and you're like, oh my gosh, it smells so good.
Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah. So like that like prompted this kind of idea of like, wow, like we spend a lot of time in the car. We like road trips. We love to travel. So it kind of like combined both these kind of all 3 of these memories with a connector of like, this is all centered around youth, right?
Right.
That freedom in the car, it never feels so good, right? Youth feels great.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And for me, I think, of course, I have those moments too from being a teenager and that freedom of just getting your license and driving around with your friends. But yeah, for us, I mean, we do. We like to travel and we have a lot of road trips here and there that are a lot of fun. But even just like driving locally and, I don't know, on a summer night and that feeling of, no matter what age you are, I feel like you kind of flash back to that. Just that freedom and youthfulness, that lightness of doing what you want when you want, and that's to me what I think of when I listen to this song. Something else I think of with the lyrics too is when we were first together, and so I'm from Pennsylvania, and I'd come visit Jamie, and we'd go to the beach, and that was a bigger deal for me, not growing up near it. So I think of, too, just those trips back and forth to the beach, and we'd have, like, great music going, as we still do. But that was just, it's a bit, like, it's just a usual thing for us now. But back then, for me, it was such a special moment to feel that freedom of driving in the car, going to the beach, maybe being a little sunburnt and that salty feeling on your skin. So I think of that too. Just so many good things associated with, the freedom and possibilities of getting in the car and driving.
The construction of the piece, right? You start out with like an acoustic section that kind of like light and playful. It was a fun little riff to come up with. And it kind of I feel like the whole song kind of drives along. Right? Yeah. And it kind of keeps pushing. So you start like building up more and more as you go through. And by the end, right, it's like just full out. It's got 2 vocals, right? It's kind of like a sing-along song. I imagine like singing to the songs in the car. So I wanted to keep it kind of constructed that way, like something repetitive, something that you could feel good screaming your lungs out with the windows down. So by the end, it's just power chords and just kind of like these 2 lines that we keep repeating over and over again.
Yeah. It actually does end too with not a scream, but there is almost like a little bit of a yelling tone to like the last couple words or the last word, if I'm remembering correctly, which Jamie initially did on his vocals, and then when I added my vocals, mimicked, because I thought that was like a really cool. And actually, I think it's a nice contrast to the beginning. I think it's the beginning as you end the first verse. Or is it the chorus that you almost kind of come to like almost like a not a whisper but a very soft tone there, so I love that contrast as you were saying as the song builds.
Yeah, and it's got a dirty guitar solo that's just like rough, it's nothing, it's not finessed, it's not smooth, it's very, I don't know, it's just like keeps chugging along, and it's rude, and I like that the beginning is like light and playful and like kind of toys around, and then by the end it's just like you almost like feel like what happened at the beginning of the song, like that was different. Was that a different song? So that was kind of fun to compose a song that kind of morphed as it went along.
Yeah, and then so once I listened to it and added my take on it, so for keys, just kept it really simple, just to add some fullness to it and some support to the rest of the guitar and the rest of the sounds there. So kept it really simple, a little swing to it to fit the mood of the song. And my vocals, I'm unison the whole time. I don't know, I think that's what felt right. It's such a light and fun song that I think anything too complicated harmony-wise wouldn't have made sense here. And unison just felt right. I pop in on like specific words, and it's funny we did that because Jamie wrote this song first and had the vocal line established, and it's actually too low for me in a good amount of spots. So we settled on me just popping in on some words here and there. I'm a soprano, so I can't get down there very far, and it worked out well. I think it actually fit perfectly. It's different from other things we've done, but it also seems to suit the song really well. So it's funny how those things kind of happen.
Yeah.
A happy accident. Like I said, all unison, except for the very end, the bridge, we have that contrast of Jamie singing on summer nights, and I'm singing Smiling from the Heights Above. So I love, again, something a little different from our other singles, that like back and forth and actually that separation of our voices, which I don't think we've really had before. It's always together, unison, or together melody and harmony. So something a little different there too. So if you haven't listened to it yet, you should definitely check it out so you can hear some of those things that you haven't heard from us before.
There you go.
And of course, we're going to have some more content coming around this song in the coming weeks. Hoping to do a lyric video, maybe a music video, probably a living room session. If you've heard any of our living room sessions before, we do acoustic recordings of our singles right in this space. So some more things to look forward to if you've been enjoying Honeysuckle Highway. And of course, depending where you're consuming this podcast, we're on Spotify with the rest of our podcast episodes. And of course, our singles. And we're on YouTube. We also have other things on YouTube, our lyric videos and music videos. And where else? We're on Apple Music. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. So please check us out. We would appreciate it so much. And thanks for listening to this podcast episode. Thanks for being with us.